let's talk about different types of relationship fields that are there in Salesforce. Right? I need to add the mic. In Salesforce, there are two types of relationship fields. Number one is master detail. Okay. So master detail relationship basically means, or master detail relationship field basically means a parent-child relationship in which we call master as parent and detail as child. And the master is always onto the one side and child is all onto the many side. Now let's talk about that. Why do we call it as many to one parent to child relationship? Can a child exist without a parent? No. So whenever there are two objects or whenever there are two tables in which the many side table cannot have a record which is related to the one side table, then in that case the relationship between both of them is master detail. So what I mean by that is, like, imagine there is branch and there is student. Can a student exist in a college without a branch? No. No student can be there without a branch. So if in this case, if the relationship is one to many, where student is many and branch is one, the relationship field would be master detail, where no student can be created without relating it to a particular branch. Is it clear? So whenever these kinds of relationships comes up, you have to create a master detail relationship field. Is that clear? So whenever there is a parent-child relationship between two entities or two objects, you have to create what? Master detail relationship. I hope it makes sense. Okay, so that's one thing. Now let's move on a little bit with this. Not only that a child cannot exist without a parent, but also if there is a branch, let's say CS, and there are multiple students associated with it. If I delete that branch from that table, all the students related to that particular branch will also get deleted automatically. So what I mean by that is, if there are records in branch table, let's say how many, I don't know. There are so many records, 3 records. And there are 30 students or 50 students, there are so many students. If I delete a single record from branch, all the associated students with that particular branch will also get deleted if the relationship between both of these is master detail, because again the same reason. Child cannot exist without a parent. That's it. And this functionality, like deleting the parent will automatically delete the child, is called as cascade delete. Okay, let me write it down. Sorry. This functionality will be called as cascade delete, right? Okay. So in a master detail relationship field, no child or no detail record can exist without a master record, without a parent record. And more than that, if you delete a parent record, all the child records associated to it will also get deleted. These are the two main functionalities that are there. Okay, now let's talk about, let me ask you guys a simple question. Like, which standard fields are there on a custom object? Mukul. Rishabh. Name. We can give it any label, but the developer name of that field is name. So even if we set it as student ID or student name or whatever we want to keep it, the developer name for that field would be name always. Exactly. So these are the four fields that are available when it comes to custom objects. Number one is what? What? Owner, name, last modified by, and created by. So on every object, every custom object, there are these types of fields. Yes or no? Okay. So let me tell you one thing. There's A object and there is B object. So if this relationship is master detail, then in that case, the owner field onto the B object will get deleted, and the owner of the B record will be the like the owner of the record on A object, which is associated to the B object, will be the owner of B records. You didn't got it right? Okay. So there is a branch. There is a student. Both are objects, and on both objects we've got these four fields, which includes owner. But if we create a many to one relationship, which is a master detail, where student is on many and branch is on one, the owner field onto the student object will get deleted. You got it? First thing, the owner field will automatically get deleted. That's the first thing. Now who will be the owner of student records? You must be thinking. The owner of student record would be the owner, like the person who is the owner of the branch. So if I am the owner of CS and all the students in CS, like I own all the students in CS. If I am the owner of EC, then in that case, I own all the records of EC. That's how it goes on. So let me explain it to you with the help of a simple table. CS, EC, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, and so on. Right. So if this and this is related, and this is related, so who will be the owner of S4? No, EC is not the owner of S4. The owner of EC is the owner of S4. Who is the owner of S1? Owner of CS. That's how it goes. Make sense? Good. Let me see what's there in chart. Modified by owner, created by, yeah. Created by, created on, it's not created on, created by. Modified by, yeah. So like the owner field onto the detail object gets deleted, and the owner of the master record becomes the owner of the child record. That's how it goes. Is that clear? Okay. So parent-child relationship not only describes this, that without a parent a child cannot exist, but also describes that the child inherits the property of the parent. Listen to this once again. The child inherits the properties of the parent. This happens, right? This is inheritance. We've got our nose, our eyes, our like complexion and everything we've inherited from our parents or from our grandparents and everyone. So like that's one of the things that is also important over here. Let me tell you, all the properties of the detail object are now dependent onto parent object. All of it, like the look and feel. Look and feel basically means the color and the icon that will be associated to detail records and everything. Next, the security and sharing settings. Listen to this once carefully. So if I'm able to see CS, then only I'll be able to see S1 and S2. But if I'm not able to edit CS, then I'll not be able to edit S1 and S2. Getting it? So it's not like that whether you're able to edit the students or read the students on student object. It is more dependent onto the parent object, that whether you have got the access to the parent object or not. And if you haven't got the access, if you're not able to see CS, you'll not be able to see S1 and S2. That's how it goes. So the security and sharing settings of the detail object records are dependent onto the master object records. Is that clear to all of you? Yeah, good. So that's one more thing, and so this is what is master relationship. Now there are some more things. The security and sharing settings, the look and feel of the detail object gets inherited from the master object, and what else? Yeah. The detail record inherits the sharing and security settings of its master record in here. Then the master detail relationship field is, oh yeah, this is important. I think I've already discussed this, but let's discuss it once again. So as I told you, can a child exist without a parent? No. So that means that whenever you'll go and try to create a student record, you'll get like the field, the relationship field that please relate it to it, relate it to any of the branch will be required or not? It will be required, right? You cannot create a student record without relating it to a branch. So the relationship field will be required onto the page layout if the relationship field is a master detail relationship. Is that clear? Next. Yeah. So by default, the records can't be reparented. What is reparenting? Changing the parent. So currently, who's the parent of S2? CS. The owner. It's not same. I'm asking who is the, what was the question? Parent. The parent is different, owner is different. So who's the parent of S2? CS. So if I want to change its parent and make EC its parent, then by default, this functionality is not available. Not allowed by the way. But you as an administrator has got the right or has got the permission to make it available to all the users in your organization. And that there is a checkbox when you're creating a master detail relationship. There's a checkbox called as allow reparenting, right? Allow reparenting. If you'll check that, then in that case, what will happen? Yeah, if you'll check that, then in that case, you'll be able to edit H2 and you'll be able to change its parent. Like if I'm like editing S2 and I'm changing CS to EC, I can do that if that checkbox is checked. And if that checkbox is not checked, then I cannot do that. Make sense? So by default, reparenting is not allowed in master detail relationship, but you as an administrator has got the right to make it allow or to like yeah to yeah you can allow your users to do that. Make sense? With the help of which checkbox? That's what it is. I want to check who all are there. Can you give real time scenario when we can choose reparenting to be done? Yeah. Like again, there is an option in like in colleges that you can change your branch. So that's one of the scenarios. But when it is, but when it is about like when it is about invoice and receipt, when employee move, yeah, from another project, yeah, exactly, you can do that. But when it is about invoice and receipt, it should not happen that you can you're creating a receipt and then changing it to another invoice, or you're putting it to with respect to another invoice. So in that case, we'll not put it that way. I hope it makes sense. No. Reparenting is basically okay. So like let's say there is CS or let's say there is EC, and in this EC there is S3, S4, and S5. If I want to like change the branch of S4, I can simply like delete this, not the record, and relate it to CS. So it's only changing a value of a particular field, which is the relationship field. It's only changing the value of the foreign key, nothing else. I hope you guys got it. Sure. I'm gonna ask you questions, so like be prepared. Change one branch to another. Yeah. I hope you got the answer of the question. Avni and Harsala. Yes, good. Okay, so that's one thing. And reparenting, I guess you have understood. Next is what? Exactly. Okay. So there is a standard object, and there is a standard object where this is master and this is detail. Is it possible? There is a standard object and there is a custom object, and this relationship is master detail. Then there is a custom object, and then there is a standard object, and then there is master tail relationship. Is it possible? Okay, so let me tell you what all is possible and what all not is possible. First thing, number one thing, listen to this very carefully. A standard object cannot be onto the many side onto the many side object, or a master tail relationship field cannot be created onto the many side object if that object is a standard object. That means standard object can never, we cannot create master tail relationship field onto standard object. We cannot create, write it down. We cannot create master tail relationship field on standard objects. Got it? Okay. Relationship field, when you are creating it, will always be a custom field. You can edit the standard field, but there is no standard master tail relationship that is in existence already when it comes to standard objects. So now we cannot create master tail relationship field on. I'll come to that question. We cannot create master tail relationship field on standard object. Now tell me which one is allowed and which one is not. First one is allowed. Why? Because we have, like, we create the field onto the many side object, and over here many side object is standard object. So this is not allowed. Okay, what about the next one? Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. This. And what about custom object and custom object? It is allowed? It is definitely allowed. Getting in? So standard object can never be onto the many side of a master tail relationship, or we cannot create a, I mean, this is one way to define it, and the other way to define it is we cannot create the master tail relationship onto the standard object. Let me see the options, answers in chat. Allowed, allowed. We cannot, we should, it's not about we should not, it's more about we cannot. It's not allowed. Standard to custom. Yeah, cool. We good? This? Okay. Standard object, standard object, standard object, custom object. Now one more thing. This is about standard object and custom object. So that basically means that like standard object can be onto the one side, and like a custom object can be onto the many side of a master tail relationship. This is possible, right? Custom object, right? But there is a terms and condition in here. And what is that terms and condition, or what is an exception in here? Not a terms and condition, but an exception in here, that there are two objects which cannot be onto the one side as well. These two objects can not be onto the one side as well. Lead and user. Okay? And it's written in your notes as well. Good. Is user an object? Yes, Pavni, user is an object. Got it? Okay. There's one more thing. So when we delete a parent record, all of its child record automatically gets deleted. So if I'll delete EC, what all will get deleted? S3 and S5 will also get deleted. Okay. So in Salesforce, there's a thing called as recycle bin. where all the deleted records go, and you can go into that recycle bin and you can undelete the records which you have deleted earlier. That means restoring those records back. You all know, you all are aware of this functionality. I mean, how to do that? Like, we just go into recycle bin and click, and it gets restored in our computer as well. So in the similar way, it happens in Salesforce. So if imagine you've deleted EC and S3 and S5 got deleted with it, then in that case, if you undelete EC into recycle bin, what will happen to S3 and S5? Will they still be there in the recycle bin, or will they come back? They will also get undeleted. That means they'll come back. Getting it? Okay, let me give you another situation. So the first thing that I did was deleting S1. And then I deleted CS. And then I undeleted CS. So now tell me, what is going to happen? Will not get S1 back. S1 will be there into the recycle bin, because the records which get deleted are the ones which will also get undeleted together. But the record which already got deleted earlier, that record will not get undeleted. Getting it? So will not get S1 back. Will only get S2 and S3 back. I hope it makes sense. It's clear? All of us? Good. But in Salesforce, records can't be deleted. You serious? Who told you? May 19, right? So if I want to delete any student, I can just go and click on delete. Delete. Got deleted. So easy. So now, where to find a recycle bin, guys? Tell me. Setup. And in setup where? Search and write down what? Recycle. Oh. Okay. Bin. Trash. Who said that? You wouldn't have said that if you wouldn't have attended the classes earlier. Okay, Lightning has still got a flaw. Recycle bin is not there in Lightning. So you gotta go to Classic and click on the recycle bin in here. And here you got the student, and click onto the student and undelete. Make sense? Good. Okay, so that's all about master detail relationship. I hope you guys got it. Yes.